Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Today I'm making this really cute red truck heart wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm going to start by adding my pipe cleaners to my 14-inch wire frame. I get all of my frames at Dollar Tree unless they're 12 inches. The 12-inch frames I get at Dollar General. I'm going to start by adding a pipe cleaner to each crossbar in the center. I go around the two center crossbars, or I'm sorry, the two center rings, and I twist 3 times pretty tightly. You don't want it to come undone or spin around. And once I do the center, I'm going to move to the outside. I just pick a random crossbar to start, and then I'll lay the pipe cleaner along the frame. Where that pipe cleaner ends is where I'm going to add my next one, and I'll do this going all the way around. I end up with 14 pipe cleaners total. So I'm going to use this 21-inch pink mesh. I believe I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's the really flimsy stuff, but it's great for bases. It's more affordable that way. But I just like to gather it, and then I'm going to add it to the pipe cleaner that's at the crossbar. I lay it over the pipe cleaners, and then I'm just going to attach it with a zip tie. I'm not actually using the pipe cleaner yet. I'll use it when I go back around. I do not suggest using scissors to cut your zip ties. I just could not find my wire cutters. And these scissors have gotten really dull, so I had to buy more. And I just like to trim it away. I like to push it to the back so that way the knot stays to the back of the wreath. And this time I'm only going to do 10-inch poofs instead of 12. I normally do 12. But I wanted to do 10-inch poofs this time. I just pull it out. I go from the 20 to the 10. That was the easiest to measure and keep it in camera. It doesn't matter how you measure it. Some people count. You can kind of guess how long, like after you've done it a while, but when I'm doing videos, I like to show you how I'm measuring it. It just makes it simpler, especially if this is, one of your first times making a wreath. You want to know how to do it. Okay, so I'll go all the way around the outside, and I do like to poof my poofs as I go. And then the last one I'm adding to the pipe cleaner that I didn't use to begin with, the one where I started. So it's like a seamless, perfect circle. Then I'll go through and open up all the center pipe cleaners, and then I just pull the mesh into the closest pipe cleaner to where I finished. And now I'll just continue going around making my 10-inch poofs. This just pulls it to the center so you don't have a poof going diagonally. And again, I'll just go around and make my poofs all the way around the center, the same way I did on the outside. And then when I get to the last one, I'm going to open the first pipe cleaner I used to pull it to the center, and I'm adding the last poof. And again, this makes it a perfect circle. And then I'll just trim away the mesh, and I like to again push it to the back to attach it to the frame. So I'll just pull the mesh apart and stick it straight through the wire frame. This just puts all the messy mechanic stuff in the back. I do suggest using longer zip ties. I'm out of the longer ones, so I'm just using up my smaller ones. They're a little bit harder to work with sometimes, especially if you have trouble with your hands. So I would definitely get the longer ones. This is just a basic poof method. If you were just doing the poof method, you would, want to take a lot more time making your poofs look really nice. I find that when they're on the bottom, it doesn't make that big of a difference. My main goal with having the poof method on the bottom is to just add volume to the wreath. And I also like the fact that the pink will stick out in random places. So this is before I got my rotary cutter. I have since got a rotary cutter, but I'm going back to using this because I made this video before that. I'm cutting 24-inch pieces of red and white 10-inch Deco mesh, and I'll cut 7 because there's 14 ties total, so I'll put a red in one and then white, and I'll alternate going all the way around. And I like to put something heavy at the end of my mesh, and since this was craft outlet mesh, I didn't have to do the curl thing at the beginning of the ruffle because their mesh is really good. It doesn't really fray a ton. I do like to start on the inside pipe cleaners, adding my mesh and my ruffles and my ribbons later. I like to do it that way because I feel like the center is like the star. You know, everything looks really nice in the middle. Especially if you're not adding a sign, you want it to be really nice and as perfect as possible. And then the outside just kind of complements everything. Here I'm just showing you how I do the ruffle again. And I am going to alternate the red and white going all the way around the wreath on the inside and outside rings. And I'm only twisting 1.5 times because I'm still going to add ribbons. I do like to make sure that everything's even before I twist it. You saw me pull down the one spot on the bottom there, and that just makes sure my ruffles are nice and round. And then I will fluff them against each other so that they're nice and poofed up and really pretty. And then I'm just going to show you how I add to the outside. And I do it the same way. You just kind of, when you fluff it, you have to fluff it up against the one that's next to it and the ones on the inside. And I really enjoy doing the ruffle method. I feel like it makes a really full wreath without using too much material. And I thought this truck ribbon was absolutely perfect for the sign. So I'm just going to use my 12-inch piece of cardboard. And I just like to wrap it around. And I'll just wrap it around 7 times. I don't usually like to go more than 7. But I do use the same 2 ribbons throughout the whole wreath. So I do need 14 pieces of each one. So I'll do this twice. But I'll wrap it around 7 times. And then I'll feed my scissors through each end and trim it away. And this gives me 7 perfect 12-inch pieces of ribbon. And then I like to dovetail all of them. So I just fold it hot dog way and I'll cut from the wire to the crease at an angle. You don't have to do this. I just think it looks really nice. I like the different, I'm not going to say texture, I just like the way it lays. I just think it looks prettier. But I'm going to go through and cut all those. And then I also had these with the little envelopes. I thought they were so cute. Some of them have glitter. And now I'm just going to go through and stack them quickly the way I like to add them to my wreath. Just makes it easier when I'm going through and adding them into the pipe cleaners. So I'll just grab the first 2 and I try to make them as even as possible. And then I'll fold it in half and crease it. And then where I have the crease is where I'm going to pinch the ribbon together. So that way I know I've got the center. And then I'm just going to add it into the pipe cleaner. You can open your pipe cleaners if you want. I don't find it necessary. And since this is the last thing I'm adding, I'm going to twist it 3 times. And then I'm going to roll it down with my glue stick. And if, like this one, I'm using brown, you don't really want to see the brown, so I just kind of push it around to the back. If you were using red, pink, or white, you wouldn't necessarily need to do that. You could just have that as part of your wreath. And then I like to create like an X with it, with my ribbons. But again, you don't have to do that. You could do, both of them sticking up and the other 2 sticking down. Completely up to you and the look you're going for. And here, I'll just show you again quickly how I add the ribbon in. You can see I like to do the 12-inch pieces of ribbon because they just slightly overlap with the one next to it. If you're adding longer pieces, sometimes it just becomes messy looking. And some wreaths, you don't really want to see the mesh, but with this particular wreath, I really wanted everything to show. And you can also add your sign before you add your ribbons, and then you can go from there to, decide how much you want to add. I just like to add everything because sometimes I don't know exactly how I'm going to finish my wreath. And here I'm just showing you the outside. The only thing I do differently on the outside is the way I fluff it. Instead of creating an X so much, it's more like a bow tie shape. Like the 2 across are kind of straight and then the 2 come out as like a tail. See, this was so perfect. This little sign was so perfect for this ribbon. So I still haven't found my stapler. So I'm going to use E6000 and hot glue, which I haven't had anyone complain yet. And this particular wreath I made for myself. I have it hanging on my door, and I haven't had a problem with the sign coming off. But you definitely have to wait for the hot glue to dry really well before you start putting it on the wreath. And I do like to take a piece of cardboard and add it on top of that. I just feel like it creates like a band-aid, or just to me I feel like it makes it stick better. It has more surface to hold the pipe cleaner in place. And no one's going to see the back of your sign. But I just kind of mix the hot glue and E6000 together. You could put them in separate spots if you wanted to, but I find this works just fine. And then I set this to the side at least an hour. That's probably not necessary, but I just hate it when they pop off and I have to redo it and you have to wait again. And then I do like to twist these. Again, it just makes me feel like it's holding better. I don't know if it actually makes a difference. And then I'm going to find the best way to add it to my wreath. Some of the trucks were kind of turned. I didn't really pay close attention when I was making the wreath, but I just thought the ribbon was so cute. I didn't think it really mattered if some of it was upside down. But I just feed the pipe cleaner through to the back of the wreath where the wireframe is, and then I'll attach it. Sometimes I'll attach it loosely at first, that way I can undo it and fix it over and over again until I'm happy with the way it looks. Sometimes I just go for it and twist it all together. And there, I'm going to show you how I attach it. So I just turned it over and you can see where I've got it around the wireframe. And then I just twist it a few times, and then I'll tuck it under so I don't have any wires sticking to the back. You don't want it to scratch anyone's door. And then I just kind of mess with my ribbons until I'm happy with it, and that's it. That's how I made my red truck Valentine's wreath. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thank y'all so much for watching, and if you learned anything today, or if you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.